Hi, garden rebels. 5 plants not to miss in the month of March. Let's get started. This is a really tough thing to do, by the way. 5 particular plants, and this climbing hydrangea isn't even one of them. But I just wanted to show you just those leaves just budding out. Spring is here. I always find that amazing. Just amazing, amazing. So, number 1 is this guy right here. Take a look. Look how cute he is. He's just this little hump of a plant. It actually gets a tad bit larger, but still just a little hump of a plant. This is a type of Hebe. It's Hebe McKinney, or McKean's Hebe is what it's often called. Now, why did I pick this one in this month? Is because you'll quickly discover, if you get this, that this Hebe makes a great member of a mixed container or a hanging basket. Putting this in brightens up a lot of plants near it. So keep this in mind. It's an unusual color of green. I don't even know how to describe it. It's kind of a brightish green, not quite chartreusey, just this, it's bright and cheerful. Number 2, this is going to be a very unusual choice, you might say. It's this guy right here, because why would I pick a Thunbergia Whipcord Whipcord? It's this guy right here. This is like the baby, and this is like the teenager of Thunbergia Whipcord Whipcord. Take a look at this. Isn't this just, I call this a conversation piece plant. Just unusual. I love that grassy-like foliage, but yet it's an evergreen. And like I said, why would I choose that for the month of March? It's been here all along. I'm even like this in the cold and in the winter, but it just stands out. And it definitely needs a month. It could have been any of the 12 months, but just having these guys is just a showpiece. So I have larger guys, and I have these cute smaller ones as well if you are more of a patient gardener. The neat thing about these is that you can put this in a mixed container, of course, or hanging basket too. We've had some that just trail lovely over the edge. Another option too is if you have a set of 3 containers, oftentimes you buy them, you know, the small, medium, and large, put a Thunbergia Whipcord in just one of them as a standalone plant. Just watch it grow, and it just trails and trails and trails. And an outstanding look for a single plant in a single container. Another plant that's starting to wake up. This one's a golden barberry. It's called Golden Jackpot. 1, 2. Number 3 is this guy right here. For the month of March, take a look at that bloom. I love these blooms. They're just, they're stop walking gorgeous, meaning that you'd go on a walk and you'd stop walking when you see these blooms. I say they're just unusual, and unusual color too. Take a look at that chartreuse bloom, and they look like they're coming from another planet even. This is a Euphorbia Martinii, red wing Euphorbia. So has that beautiful green with a burgundy mix. And while I'm speaking about most of the Euphorbia Martinii, there are other varieties as well. Take a look at this guy. This is an Ascot Rainbow. So it has much more of that golden yellow variegation, and still it has that chartreusey type of unusual bloom. Now these get about 2 feet, I want to say knee-high size, and about just as wide. And if you have one of those really tough, hard to grow conditions, meaning that it's hot sun and the soil isn't all that great, then the Euphorbias might be the simple answer for you. So it's just that tough. I like these two also in containers and hanging baskets too, because they do something always a little unusual. So it stops you from moving forward. You have to stop and notice and admire. So just a fun one to plant. This is a Martin's Euphorbia. It has that dark red center, that chartreuse bloom. So this is Martin's Euphorbia. I kind of grouped a bunch of Euphorbias in number 3. Hard to choose. This one isn't dead. It's still sleeping. Number 4, and this is in no particular order, which was a really easy choice for me because I've been watching these. It's this one. This is Sorberia Sorbifolia, and the variety is called Sem. It's kind of an improved Sorberia. Now, why did I choose this one? It's because of that foliage. It is so striking to me every time I pass it by. So it is this kind of an orange, kind of a yellow, kind of a red mixture in the spring as well as in the summer. So just a neat one. And why did I pick out this one particularly for March is because I love to watch this one just emerge. It's one of the first, I want to say, shrubs. It's a small shrub that loses its leaves in the fall, but it's one of the first ones to show up with leaves in the springtime. So a fun one. I put this one also in containers and hanging baskets, and you can clip and prune to how you want this one to be. But just a very striking plant, especially putting it next to some really deep dark greens, maybe some orange blooms as well. So a fun one. Sorberia Sorbifolia Sem. A strange one. What's the common name on this guy? Ural false spirea. I've never called it that myself. This one isn't dead either, and it's awake. It's Carex buchani, red rooster. And number 5, I would be almost criminal not to mention this one for the month of March, is the Erysiums. Now, Erysiums, these are the wallflowers. Strange story, by the way, on these guys. Take a look at this particular bloom, by the way. Take a look. This one is called Winter Passion. And a story on these. Now, why are these called wallflowers? And when you think of a wallflower, because look how bold and beautiful that is. And by the way, these are very dependable perennials. If you want something to plant and dependably come back, do the Erysiums. And the neat thing about these, by the way, is that there is a whole lot of breeding. This is like the new iPhone. There's so much breeding going on. So there is a lot of new colors of blooms on there, actually, as well as new colors of foliage. Why are these called a wallflower, by the way? question. In a wallflower, you think of like a shy person, shy person in a big social situation. And why would these be called that because of that? Well, it's because a species back in Europe, the Erysiums is a huge, giant, wonderful family. But they had some varieties that grew literally on their walls and fences, and thus the name was called wallflower. So just a little tidbit. Another little tidbit, by the way, if you can stand it, is the Erysium in Latin means to help. So a nice name. My name's Erysium. I'm here to help. And it's because it refers back to the varieties of Erysium for the American natives they used, and I think there are some also some Europeans that used it for some medicinal qualities as well. So keep an eye out for all the Erysiums. You'll see a lot of different varieties coming along. Again, this one's called Winter Passion. I love that orange. It gets me all excited. Only 5, and I've got a yellow camellia. Very unusual. So it's called Jury's Yellow. I won't tell you about this yellow camellia. I won't tell you. I'm sticking to number 5. That's it. No more. Anyway, guys, that's the show for the day. Those are the tips and tricks for this week. Guys, always live your passion. That was Sting.